We now interrupt your regular scheduled program with this special report.
We have a breaking news story for you tonight. It appears that female leadership is on the rise, and yet another woman has been named the CEO of a major corporation.
Yes, that is correct, Ed. GM has recently appointed Mary Barra as their new CEO, the first woman CEO of a global market, joining the rising rank of women in leadership roles such as companies like HP, IBM, PepsiCo, Facebook, Campbell, and other household names to list a few.
That's cool. With us tonight is OD expert and mentee to Dr. Bob, Kimberly Jones. Kim is here to give her expert opinion about the rising trends in female leadership styles and provide some comparison to male leadership. Hello, Kim. Thank you for being here with us and giving us some insight on the subject.
Thank you, Ed. The rising appropriateness of female leadership style is indeed on the upsurge. In 2009, there were only 12 CEOs, female CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. Today, there are 24, even though females make up half the workforce.
Oh, wow, that is quite a growth spurt. What do you think that is?
Well, after much research on this topic, I found several conclusions. Simply put, women are going back to school, back to business school, and they're outperforming men. So there are more quality women to choose from.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, the male style leadership was so popular for a long time, but now it's decreased in its effectiveness. Many men use the autocratic style of leadership, and that simply means that they resist introspection, value, they are into individual control, they don't utilize input from groups, they want to win, and they value power. The male leaders are more goal and punishment oriented. They don't appreciate the connection of emotions and things of that nature, and how that impacts how people perform. For years, this style was very successful, but the world is changing and there's a new generation entering the workforce.
Oh, wow. And when you say female style leadership, what exactly do you mean, Kim?
Research and case studies indicate that female leadership style bring a more complete range of qualities that more modern leaders need. That includes self-awareness, emotional attunement, and just authenticity. Women are more collaborative, they work better in teams, and are generally better in communication. Above all, they're helpful, empathetic, interpersonal. They're aware of their employees, if they're happy, if they're not happy, and how it impacts their work performance. They tend to monitor employee feedback a little bit more. And their development, they look more into their development, promote more interpersonal communication, and they include their employees in the decision-making process.
And do you think that the growth of this female leadership style will continue?
You know what? The domination as a leadership style is becoming less and less popular. There is a new growing appreciation of those traits that female leaders bring to the workforce. And those are the same traits that women use to keep their families together and to organize volunteers and just to make a difference in shared communities. The newly admired leadership qualities of shared leadership, nutrients, and doing good for others are today not only sought after, but are also needed to make a difference in the world. A feminine way of leading includes helping the world to understand and be principled by the values that really matter.
Well, thank you so much, Kimberly, for sharing all that nice information. Very, very good. And now we're going to go with Yolanda, who is with Mary Barra, over our sister station.
Hi there, I'm Yolanda with WOBD 101.3, and I'm here with the first female CEO of global automaker Mary Barra. Mary, thank you for being with us tonight. How does it feel to make history?
I'm honored to lead the best team in the business and keep our momentum at full speed.
And what are your thoughts on the rise of female leadership styles?
I think there are definitely more women in more senior roles than in 1980 when I first started. But from my career perspective, I don't go into a room and take count. I want to be recognized for my contribution and what I do.
Understandable, Mary. and it appears that you are, but this is also a huge step for women in this business sector. Many say your inclusive leadership style had a lot to do with you being selected for the position. Can you comment on this?
Yes, I believe my inclusive leadership style allowed me to gain employee advocates and improve business operations. The times are changing, Yolanda, and I have always created an inclusive environment where employees feel they can voice their opinions. Once I receive diverse input, I gauge the efficacy of all ideas and provide feedback. While I fully engage this style of leadership, at the end of the day, the decision has to be made, and I have no qualms about making it if we can't come to a consensus. But I do prefer to allow everyone to be part of the process.
Co-workers and mentors have praised your listening skills and approachability. Mary, do you think that this is an important trait for leaders to have?
Oh, there is no doubt in my mind that this is the way leaders should be. And while I do want to be recognized for my skills and not my gender, the fact is that many organizations are leaning towards this style of leadership. And as it happens, it's a style more women tend to employ.
Mary, in your vast career, have there been any great influences or advice that has stuck with you throughout your career?
Oh, so much. But I'd have to say I learned a great deal from the style of Sheryl Sandberg, COO of Facebook. She not only believes but exemplifies the traits and states that every leader should follow them in order to be successful. She states we should be present, proactive, deliberate, thoughtful, authentic, and take time to understand the context. While men have the capability of these traits, it appears women seem to embody them more.
Mary, any advice to present or future women leaders out there?
I say that it has been a long road, and there are still many more steps to take, but now is the time to take them. Women can take advantage of this career shift to secure their place in the business world. The organizations are placing more value on inclusive and transformational leadership. They are emphasizing a blend of intellectual qualities, such as the ability to think analytically, strategically, and creatively. And while that's not new, they are also placing an equal emphasis on emotional qualities, such as self-awareness, empathy, humility. And this is where women right now have the upper hand, and they should grab onto this opportunity. Right now, there is still such a thing as male and female leadership styles. Right now, men have not transformed their style to match that of the increasingly popular female leadership style. But perhaps one day, there won't be gender-specified styles. There won't be male and female leaders. There will just be leaders. But until that's the case, women, it's time to step up, continue stepping, because the path is more open now than it has ever been before.
Wow, Mary, such powerful words that you have. Thank you so much for speaking with us today. Ed, and back to you.
Thank you, Yolanda. Well, that's all for tonight. Before we sign off, I wanted to add something of my own. I've also read the Sheryl Sandberg book, and what struck me most is when she was talking about the female leadership style and its rise because of the current wave of female leaders that are actually speaking up. The more women that attain power, the less pressure that they feel to conform, and the more likely they're actually willing to help other women. And studies have shown that women in leadership roles have better work-life policies, smaller gender gaps in executive compensation, and more women in mid-level management.
Wow, I agree with you. And her words they're definitely powerful and indicative of the time we're in. Women should heed the advice of women on top of management, such as Barbara, Sandberg, and others. Ladies, now is not the time to sit quietly and wait for things to happen. Leading employees and running organizations, Sandra is exactly right when she says we should just need to lean in. And this is broadcasting, of course, especially geared towards those who have not taken doctor's orders.
I'm Ed Wright, reporting to you live from WOBD 101.3, wishing you a good night.
And I'm Aura Mendoza. Thank you so much for tuning in. And now back to your programming.
Might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here.
Now, is she gonna join you?
This video was created by Group 3, Kimberly Jones, Analytical Expert, Ora Mendoza. Newscast number 1, Ed Wright. Newscast number 2, Yolanda Stewart. Newscast number 3, Ano Sola, CEO, Mary Vara. And a special thanks to Dr. Bob O.D. Class.
Yeah, that's